whatever. Watch Dave Rubin. He's such a moron.
Ironically, the question is the right one. Again, can a company say, hey, if you work for us and we are based in this state, let's say we are based in Alabama, I'm just using that as an example, and we are based in Alabama, you have a health care policy in Alabama, are you allowed to cross state lines and get an abortion elsewhere if it is not allowed in Alabama? Now, of course, this is the beauty of the United States. And again, I would say to Barbara Streisand and Rosie O'Donnell and all of the blue check lefties, Rob Reiner and Mark Hamill. Who are the other really horrible ones? Give me some horrible lefties. There's enough of them. Pick your own horrible lefty. You at home. Choose your own horrible Hollywood lefty. They can fund people getting on buses, and mostly it's going to be poor people, and mostly it'll be people of color, and they can bus them into California, and they can put them up at the Four Seasons, and they can have their abortions, and then they can send them back, because that's what it would be doing something with your own money and your own resources.
Okay, that's the beauty of America.
Okay, I'm gonna, dude, every time I listen to these motherfuckers speak about this issue, it's like so hard for me not to violate every terms of
Dave
service.
Rubin is the dumbest of the dumbest.
No, it's just like, it puts me in fucking red hot rage where I'm just like, I'm thinking of such illegal things right now in my mind, and I'm trying to stop myself from these urges, but it's so fucking hard to just, you know. Anyway, I'm not gonna say anything, but this idea that like, oh, if you're in Alabama, just get bussed over to California.
That's the beauty of America.
That's the beauty of America. It's like, dude, holy fuck. First of all,
and I love how he goes, it's going to be poor people and black people who are going to need these services, who, by the way, I'm happy to say, fuck you. So you're going to have to rely on rich people to bust your ass out, take a nice little fucking holiday to get an abortion.
So
stop over at Disneyland.
So how does that work? How does that work as like a libertarian, by the way, like or you know, a classical liberal? How does that? How do you live in that world?
Yeah,
because, like if the abortions are gonna happen regardless, why the fuck can't they get it in Alabama, dumbass? Shut the fuck up.
Wait, isn't Dave Rubin I believe the less government, the better.
Yeah, the only person who like regularly gets hate crimed by his own fucking fan base that I don't even care about.
Ben
like,
Shapiro, by the way, once famously said to Dave Rubin, I would not go to your wedding. I think it's an abomination against God, and my religion would prohibit me from attending even an anniversary party.
Dude, he fucking, when he adopted a kid, everyone was like, ew, what the fuck? You're not allowed to do that. And it's like, yeah, I mean, if it were up to conservatives, he would not be able to do that. And honestly, Dave Rubin shouldn't be able to adopt kids. Not because he's gay, but because he's fucking Dave Rubin.
Okay? Yeah.
Like straight up. If there was a way that I could like write the rules, I'd be like, no, you do not deserve happiness or to be able to fucking raise a child.
This was my other favorite take by Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz says what we always thought. He likes them dumb and young.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Gaetz, of course, has a pending investigation for like sex trafficking minors and giving them drugs and stuff. Good guy. He says, how many of the women rallying against overturning Roe are overeducated, underloved millennials who sadly return from protests to a lonely microwave dinner with their cats and no Bumble matches? What does overeducated mean?
I think he likes them, you know, dumb.
I just find that, is that an insult, overeducated? Like,
no, he's creating this idea that these are like unfuckable, you know, cat ladies. You know what I mean?
Well, he likes them dumb and young.
Steven Crowder said something similar too on his broadcast, where he was just like, you know, it's always like ugly women that complain about catcalling. First of all, like that doesn't change anything. Like, you know, beauty is arbitrary.
All beautiful women love being harassed.
And also, like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, women get catcalled regardless of whether you think they're hot or not.
I mean, my wife.
Who would do this? I wish my mom had aborted me. I think that's pretty funny. I mean, antinatalist.
Who are you to judge her, Matt?
You didn't consent to being born. Well, I mean, Matt Gaetz, he doesn't care about consent.
My wife hates being catcalled. I'm pretty sure women do not like being harassed on the streets by creepy men. But anyway, a shout out to all the overeducated women out there. No,
he's just saying he's doing the thing that I was like joking about, where it's like, oh, well, you're unfuckable anyway. Like, why do you care about abortions? It's like, dude, if it doesn't matter, okay? It literally doesn't matter because it impacts them, clearly.
Let's see. This take is fucking real crazy.
Okay. Oh God, I'm literally.
So this guy, Nick Martin, Peter.
We're testing the boundaries of YouTube terms of service right now.
Don't worry, I've got here.
Into this shit.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, well, I can cut the mics and throw to it.
Peter Brimelow, the former National Review editor who now runs the website VDare, celebrated the Roe news by posting on the alt social media Gab, "Next stop, Brown versus Board."
Yeah. I mean, that's their goal. That's always been their goal. I mean, this stuff
they want segregation back.
Yeah, of course, dude. What do you mean? Well, first of all, they're VDare. Like, their VDare's entire fucking mission strategy is like, I am genuinely terrified of like a black or brown person having sex with a white person. Like, that's their entire thing. Is like,
yo, I didn't know that they were trying to go back to fucking racial segregation.
Of course they are. And also, what do you think private education is all about? This is literally this is something that the Democratic Party even has played a role in with charter schools. Like, a lot of the reason why private schooling is like such a big thing in the Republican Party, or school choice is such a big thing in the Republican Party, is so that they can do this. They want.
So wait, at a private school, they can not admit minorities.
Well, in the United States of America, you can still have white supremacist outcomes, even if you parse through it on a class based method. In a classist way, you can still reach the same.
That's so wild to say publicly, though. That shocked me, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's how do I describe this? So there's a polite way of saying it, and Republicans say it politely all the time. And then this is the most open, like,
so what's the polite way?
The polite way of saying it, I think, is that the polite way of saying is school choice, basically. First of all.
The charter school
but for example, like Ben Shapiro is against the Voting Rights Act.
Here's Ben Shapiro saying that gay marriage as a right needs to be overturned next.
Meanwhile, the Democrats are really trying to push hard, particularly the Democrats in the media. So you've got ABC's Terry Moran saying that you never know what they might do next. What are they going to do next? My God, the Supreme Court, they might actually go back and overrule Loving versus Virginia and allow states to ban interracial marriage.
There was a senator who defended that before this decision came out, like literally a month ago.
Interracial marriage, dude. What year is it, man?
They will crazy. They will absolutely do it. Let's hear what Ben has to say about it.
That wasn't even based on the right to privacy, you idiots. That's based on the Equal Protection Clause. Wrong constitutional clause, you morons. And then they try to, they might overturn Obergefell. First of all, Obergefell is a bad Supreme Court decision. And if we had a Supreme Court with itself, they would have.
Yeah, Obergefell is the one that legalizes gay marriage.
Yeah.
Overturn Obergefell, but they're not going to. They explicitly
he's like, I want them to, but they won't.
3 separate times in that decision that I read in nearly its totality on the air yesterday, that this has no impact on.
Yeah, and all of those justices, by the way, that Trump appointed, lied to the face of Congress and said, we will not overturn Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, they said it was a super precedent.
Yeah, super precedent law.
Multiple times.
So whatever the fuck that piece of shit wrote in that.
Why would you ever believe them in any meaningful capacity? But why would you especially try to believe them now? But Ben knows. Ben knows. This is what the Federalist Society.
It's on the table.
This is what the Federalist Society's stated purpose is to like sidestep any matter of legislation, make legislation functionally impossible to happen in the Senate when the Republican Party is the minority by weaponizing the filibuster, and then sidestepping that using state legislatures to like harm people, and also patting the deck of the judiciary to enact these kinds of rules. Like, this was their goal, and now they have a supermajority, and they're expressing, they're finally doing what they've been doing for the past 20 years. People don't realize the Federalist Society is so powerful. They got George W. Bush to change his Supreme Court appointment. Like, that's how fucking, and that's back then they weren't even as big, they were just starting to pop off. So these guys are, this is what their slated purpose was. And they're doing this specifically for the white evangelical Protestant base of psychotic zealots. And they're going to keep doing it because they want to win. They want to win elections.
It's scary, though. I wonder how far they want to roll it back. They want to go all the way back to like 1860, pre-Civil War.
Of course.
That was the golden days.
It's all a matter of what is normalized, right? These are two conflicting forces. I'm going to be super reductive here when describing it, but like reactionary people they want to go back to a return to tradition. They want to go back to traditional society, right? And it doesn't matter how, they will never stop. This is why fascism is inherently self-defeating, because there always has to be an external force that you're fighting against, right? And the in-group gets smaller and smaller. The in-group has expanded greatly. We have Hispanic people that we consider white, Jewish people are considered white, Polish people are considered white, Slavs are considered white in America. That in-group, from a fascist perspective, is slated to get smaller if it's not consistently expanding. Progressive ideology works in the other side of this. You have to put your foot on the gas nonstop and make sure that there is an endless sea of progress so that Republicans can fight against that. But when Democrats refuse to do so, when Democrats can't push for more progressive legislation because they're fearful or because they don't want to, then Republicans are going to take advantage of that and do what they do best, which is revert back and regress. That's precisely why when Joe Biden even brought up the idea that he could, by executive order, abolish student loan debt, Republicans immediately were like, hold on, no, that's bad. That's actually bad. They immediately rushed to fight against that. But when Democrats don't give them something to fight against, they're going to do this. This is what they're going to do. You have to keep your foot on the gas always.
That's good. That's interesting. I mean, yeah, it's so obvious that that's true. If you go back to civil rights, they were opposed. You go back to freeing the slaves, they were opposed. Everything that now they accept as norms of like, well, of course, that we would never go back.
But the resentment
that far.
never goes away. That's the point. The resentment never goes away. Like,